Okay, welcome to today's 5-minute money mentor lesson. And we're talking about books, near and dear to my heart. How do you read to make money? Number one, it's different. You cannot treat it as the same rules as you grow up in. I'm not teaching you how to read to pass a test, an exam. I'm talking about how to make money. This is a huge difference. If you want to learn to read for your own enjoyment, do not watch this video. I promise you I'll teach you how to make money. Number two thing is you want to have a wide variety of books that you read, and it's been proven that creativity comes, actually this author here, Stephen Johnson, talks about this, where good ideas come from. When you think of multiple things and you bring them all back. So for example, you want to start a restaurant, don't just read books about a restaurant. You want to start an online social media marketing, don't just read marketing books. Because everybody who's your competitor is reading those same books. You want to learn real estate, don't just learn real estate. Don't just read real estate, I should say. Be eclectic. That's what my second mentor, Alan Nation, told me. He said, if you want to make money, you're going to have to be multidisciplinary. That's what the billionaire Charlie Munger says. So a wide variety that's the same as multidisciplinary. Number three, when I say the rules are different, the first rule that's different is read more than one book. In fact, at a time. More than one at a time. And if you ever get a day, I recommend you take reading vacations. We'll try to get to that in this video, but it's what Bill Gates does. Many people do. Warren Buffett, by the way, for any of you who doubt the power of books, Warren Buffett reads 500 to 700 pages a day, and he's almost 90. And he has a $200 to $400 billion company. Jeff Bezos, the #1 wealthiest man in the world, guess what his first company was? He sold books. Books are near and dear to most wealthy people's heart. Not everybody, but the exception is not the rule. In general, the rule is that millionaires, average people don't have libraries, but millionaires do. You want to know the difference between a house? You go to a wealthy person's house, there's almost always a library. Okay, read more than one book at a time. I'm often reading 2 to 4 books at a time. Here's the subjects I recommend you read. Okay, I recommend you read your specialty. So if you're in marketing or business, read business books. Number 2, everybody should read history. Everybody, because it teaches you the patterns. History doesn't repeat, but Mark Twain says it rhymes, meaning there's a pattern. When you begin to see patterns, you can predict the future. You make money by seeing trends before everybody else. Many trends come around every 20, 50, 100-year cycle, okay? Specialty, so whatever your specialty is, history, then you want to read biographies. Extremely important. Okay, what I do with biographies, I use them as inspiration, motivation. To make money, you're going to have hard days. You're going to feel down and out. You're going to feel like no one can do this. And then you're going to read a biography about somebody who did, and you're going to feel better. Number 5, the reading routine that I recommend. I recommend you set aside 3 times a day, but it can be really short. It can be as short as 2 minutes. In the morning, and there's one category I didn't have room. I'm going to put it here. In the morning, read classics. What are classics? Books that have lasted more than 50 years in print, and people still like them. Great philosophers. Read Karl Marx. Read, Nietzsche. Read... I was reading, I think one of the smartest people I've ever read is Freud. Read Jules Verne. Read all these. In the morning, I like it. I think of it as it's like soap. It cleans out my brain from all the junk in the world. If it's lasted that long as a classic, it's probably amazing. The next thing I recommend at lunchtime, read your business books. And then at night, read your biographies. That helps you go to bed. Do not read at night your main business. It gets your mind too overactive, okay? So at night, that says I read biographies or history. Either one. These help you actually sleep. And the last thing I just want to show, I'm going to do this actually in another lesson. I'm going to go through a little more in depth because I want to keep these around 5 minutes. But just remember, the last thing doesn't even fit on this piece of paper. You don't have to read all the book. The most important point, and I'm putting it at the end, is if the book stops serving the purpose of helping you in your aim to grow your career and to grow your income, just put it down and say you'll read it in a couple years. Build your library and move on to a better book. Move on to a better book. Move on to a better book. No one knows the amount of books. There's tens of millions of books been published in history. You're never going to read them all, so always there's an opportunity cost. Staying too long on one book means you're not getting to another good book. So, this is going to be part 1. We'll talk about it later as you advance through more black belt. I just want you to know the rules are different. Read a wide variety. Read more than one at a time. Read your specialty, your business, your money, history, biography, and throw the classics in the morning. All right, I want you to... Oh, by the way, if you need some inspiration on what books to read, I've got a free list, tailopez.com/books. It's one of the top books lists on the internet, too. So it's a lot of people have gotten it. I list 100 books you can start with. Okay? So below, list the 3 books you're going to start with. A classic, a business book or a money-making book, and a biography or history. Both biographies are histories that you got from tailopez.com/book. That'll close out today's lesson. See you on the next one.